What's up everybody, Murtag here. So let's continue our trip towards the BFA classes looking for a main. And in today's video we are going to spotlight the Warrior, the class that I played mostly in Legion. So Warriors are probably the class that are going to suffer less from the loss of the artifact. And in the grand scheme of things, now Warriors are really important in any competitive group due to their introduction of Battle Shout. It's one of the 3 raid buffs that come back again, and it increases the agility and strength of the party of the raid of 10%. So basically this means that every competitive raid, Mythic Plus group or arena team that plays towards melee will at least have a warrior for this buff. Okay, let's give a look to the specs, starting with arms. We have a brand new mastery, Deep Wounds, and it works pretty easily. When we hit a target with Mortar Strike, Execute and Blade Storm, we inflict this blade damage that lasts 6 seconds, and basically our mastery now works that increase the damage of it. So interesting, not much game changing for us, because now Colossus Smash is just you still have a 45 seconds cooldown, smashes the target dealing 150% of our active power, physical damage, and increase the damage we deal to all with the target of 30% for 10 seconds. And we have a new spell to buff up our Mortar Strike, Overpower, which increases the damage of our next Mortar Strike by 10%. This attack, of course, cannot be blocked, dodged or parried as was the previous version. So now I want to give a look, because what is really interesting from these changes is that our stat choice for Arms Warrior has been completely changed from the one of Legion. So now our primary stats are Critical Strike, Haste, Strength, Versatility and Mastery. Of my personal warrior, Mastery has been seen as an increase of damage as 0.015. I had to throw away all my gear because I built it up all towards Mastery. So this is really a problem. So also we have lost some baseline ability, but we gained some others. We have lost Recklessness, sadly, but we got Sweeping Strike, which is kinda different, basically works the same way. It needs one additional target and lasts for 20 seconds. It has 30 seconds cooldown, pretty much interesting. And this makes the warrior, the Arms Warrior, more strong on AoE situation, especially because with other trait we will find the same trait that works as the Legendary Helm, which makes the Arms Warriors the best performing spec in Top Buster Geras. So a common talent build for an Arms Warrior will be Sudden Death, Double Time, Fervor for Battle, Bounding Strike, Warbreaker, Info the Kill and Aggro Management. This is because now Fervor for Battle makes that Whirlwind deals 10% increased damage and slams our primary target. So basically we deal a slam and a whirlwind. Pretty much interesting. But of course this is for an easy mode. Looking at the most deep talents, we see that unlocks that lots of top players are playing with Skull Splitter, which bash an enemy skulls, dealing a good amount of damage. It generates 20 rage and then a 21 seconds cooldown. Then of course we have Double Time, we have Rend, we have Warbreaker that basically makes Colossus Smash work as our artifact ability that we lost. And then we have of course Info the Kill and Aggro Management as earlier. Fury Warrior. Fury Warrior suffered a lot in BFA because at first it was trashed a lot. players were outrageous about the bad situation of warriors in Modern. But with the last changes that happened in the last month, we saw how the Fury War has become top tier. So basically this is because mostly it's easier to use Rampage, and Ace reduce the global cooldown, which is a huge deal because global cooldowns are back. And Enrage, our most important gameplay, is built in Ace Bucks, makes Fury the fastest action specialization in game, but also they've reduced the fact that we receive more damage when we are on Enrage. So of course the warrior now is skipping recklessness, so basically is our widow of max DPS. Bloodstorm deals damage quicker but do less tick. Raging Blow has 2 charges and a 20% chance to reset his cooldown on use, and on not requires you to be enraged. And this is pretty interesting because now Raging Blow and Whirlwind generates rage. Whirlwind generates 3 rage plus an additional 1 per target hit with a maximum of 8, while Raging Blow generates 12 rage. This is why I'm saying that casting Rampage is much quicker, and you can talent it to make it cost even less rage. In fact, for a common build, if you want to go for an easy mode, it will be with Endless Rage, Double Time, Inner Rage, Bounty Strike, Carnage, Dragon Roar, and Recklessness Abaddon. And our stat choice, of course, will be Ace, Critical, Strength, and Versatility Mastery. So this makes pretty much easier to swap between Arms and Fury, because Fury, we can say, is now much stronger on single target situation. And if you want to go a bit more deep, we saw now in the kills as now, but keep in mind this is pre-patch stuff, so probably with Azrael things will change, but a talent build for competitive ready will be with Endless Rage, Double Time, Sudden Death, Warpaint, Carnage, Dragon Roar, and Anger Management, which is really important because it reduces the cooldown of your Recklessness, which is your most important window of DPS situation. And last but not the least, we have Protection, probably the one that received much more changes due to all the changes that Blizzard made to the tanks globally. In fact, now tanks generates plus 350% of threat, so now numbers are on par as they were in Path of the Lich King. Some abilities that were not on the global cooldown in Legion now are, so Intercept, Ignore Pain, Demoralizing Shout, and Avatar, which is baseline to the specs. In fact, we lost Battle Cry, but we have taken Avatar. Your course, we have also Shockwave, is baseline, and you can, with a talent, you can make it that if you hit 3 targets, it reduces the cooldown of it. Then we have Vanguard, which is pretty interesting. It's a passive ability that provides a 35% more stamina increase and causes armor to be increased by 45% of your strength. Because now what Blizzard is working towards making you lose a bit of spell or your damage reduction to spell to get a bit more armor. So in fact there's also change Ignore Pain. It has a static number of 40 rage to be used, but it now removes only 50% of the damage instead of 90. So, and also its durations will lower to 12 seconds down to 15. Spell Reflection reduce the magical damage by 20. It was 50% with the artifact. Thunderclap slow the movement speed is now 20%. Intercept do not reduce enemy movement speed. But Demoralizing Shout is now 45 seconds cooldown, down for 90 seconds. While Shield Block regenerates in 18 seconds, up from 13, but it even costs more rage, it costs 30 rage up for 15, but still has 2 charges, despite the tooltip says. So for an easy mode, it's just as it was before. So we have these common stats: priority, which were in Legion, haste, versatility on par with mastery, and critical strike. And of course our common rotation will be using Shields on cooldown, Thunder on cooldown, Revenge only if it's free to use, and Devastate. Then you have all your toolkit to use, which is very rich. I think that Warriors has one of the richest toolkit, because you have things like Demoralizing Shout, you have Commanding Shout, you have Intimidating Shout, you have Intercept to help your allies, you have Last Stance, lots of very interesting things. And a basic talent build will be, for all content, will be Into the Fray, Boundary Strike, Unstoppable Force, Bolster, Rumbling Heart, Booming Voice, and Anger Management. But if you're still planning to raid a little, then I suggest you to go with Into the Fray, Boundary Strike, Unstoppable Force, Bolster, Rumbling Heart, Devastator, and of course, as always, Anger Management, because it's not really great, because it could do so many cooldowns are benefits to this talent: Outer, Last Stand, Shield Wall, and Demoralizing Shot. All of them benefits from it. So this is really important to use. Also protection, you benefit from it by using only 10 rage instead of 20 as Arms and Fury. So this is really top tier talent. Is probably, and we just kinda say because you don't have any much other choice. It's so good. It's really so good. So guys, this is my quick look, and from I want to say, from myself, I will probably still main a warrior. I really like the changes that they made, how the spec is working right now, and surely it will be my first main. In BFA I'm going to main 3 characters, so I found one, which is the warrior. I hope that you will try it, maybe to play it as an elf, or give it a try, because it's probably more worth a warrior as it was in Legion. And if you're planning to reroll, to help your raid, keep in mind that warriors will really be at least one fundamental for the success of your raid. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.